Alright guys, we are back. We got some more Fire Emblem Heroes, and unfortunately, the stream died again in the middle of a recording. So this video that I recorded on stream actually glitched out, and now I can't use it. So we're going to react to this again. I already reacted live, so I'm not going to fake a reaction, but I am kind of disappointed that it's not Athos. I thought now was going to be the best time to do him, considering we had Nurgle on the Fallen banner. But it's going to be male Corrin here with some very underwhelming art. It's not like bad art or anything. It's just not like very interesting. So drawn by Penico R, who is a good artist, although they didn't really hit it with this one. So Fire Legendary Hero with the Speed Blessing and also the pair-up feature. He is a Green Breath Infantry type, and he's voiced by Cam Clark there. So meh artwork, meh character choice for me. He's going to be on the Brave banner as well, right? So like, also a lot of people are disappointed that he's not the Omega Yato Corrin. Although if he was, they wouldn't have been able to make him green. He would have had to have been red, and this banner was already checked for red units, so that probably wasn't going to happen right now. But I don't think it was a good time to release this guy here. So he's got Hoshido's Breath with 16 might, 1 range, -1 special trigger, distant counter. If his HP is over 25% and his special cooldown count is at its max value, he gets -1 cooldown. And he gets it again as well after combat. So he basically has times pulse 4 built in. Then he's getting all stats. Well, the number of allies within 3 spaces of him times 3 plus 5 is going to be all of his stats as a bonus. And the maximum is 14. So it's a very easy condition. You can expect him to have all stats up 14 pretty much all the time. Then he's got 7 flat DR against the enemy's first attack, which includes their Brave attack, which is pretty good and pretty common right now. Then also, if the enemy's attack can trigger their special, then he has Scowl, so he can, if he's got 5 more res, he can inflict Scowl on them to stop specials. And then also, he has adaptive damage, of course, like all dragon types, so very stock standard stuff here. Nothing breaking the mold, nothing out of the ordinary. This is just very typical dragon mumbo-jumbo. Then he's got Dragon Fang Shot here, which is a 2-hit special, and I don't think this is inheritable. We will see why as we read it. So, boost damage by 40% of units' res when special triggers. If his res is better than the foe's res, then he gets res-based DR with a max of... Or the difference between stats... Max difference between stats is 10. So, wait. Basically, I think it goes up to 40%, right? Or is this unlimited, actually? Hold on. Because typically it will specify, when, like, if there's a max of 40%, it will say that. It doesn't actually say that here. Hold on. Let me read this again. Reduce damage from attacks during combat and AoEs by percentage equals to 4 minus the current special cooldown count value. Oh! I didn't even read that when I did the trailer. No, it's his max current special cooldown count value minus 4 times the difference between... Wait. Times the difference between stats. What? That doesn't even make sense. Max difference between stats is 10. Who are we stat checking? If his res is better than the foe's res. So I guess it's using the difference, or the difference between your res and the enemy's res if your res is better than the enemy's res. Then it's -4 from his max current special cooldown count value. Like, did you guys get any of that? Did that make sense to you? Oh my god. What is with this? Why are these skills so hard to understand? Why can't it just be simple? Like, just give him res-based DR up to 40%. Why all this? Well, I guess if they do it like this, it can be non-pierceable. Is this non-pierceable? No, it is pierceable because it's a percentage. It's not a flat number. Yeah, so I reiterate. Why didn't they just give him res-based DR up to 40%? Like on Dragon Wall and like the dodge skills, except with res instead of speed. They just love giving us headaches on these. That's their goal. How confusing can they make this? Alright, also, if unit special is ready or unit special triggered during combat, reduce damage or the percentage of foe's non-special DR by half. And then after combat, if his special triggers, then he applies Divine Vein Water on target space and each space in 2 spaces of him for 1 turn. Or, not him, but 2 spaces of the target space for 1 turn. And Divine Vein Water acts as difficult terrain for range type units, so it's the same in Divine Vein Flame in that regard. But then it also inflicts speed -5 on the enemies and reduces their non-special DR by half while they're on the water tiles. So it's okay, but it's not like, it's not as insane as the flame tile was, and it's also in a very awkward position. I would not want to activate terrain on a special. I would rather activate it on a passive. So, or just at the start of the turn, like with Divine Vein Stone, where you just end your action and you get it up. Alright, then he's got Speed and Res Finish 4, High Dragon Wall. Now this is really juicy fodder. If a skill compares units res to foes or allies res, then he gets +5 res, so essentially half of Phantom res. And then he inflicts speed and res -4 on the enemy as well, and then if his res is better than the enemy's res, then he gets percent-based res DR up to 40%, which is what his special should have said in the first place. And then also, foes with a range of 2 cannot warp into spaces within 4 spaces a unit, so he has half of Warp Bubble, which is really good. Doesn't affect melee types, which means that enemies can still run, like, melee-type Gale Forcers. In the case of Aether Raids, if they're running an offensive team with offensive Gale Force, most of the units are Gale Forcing are going to be melee types for that. So this not being able to block I would have actually preferred if this blocked melee Gale Forcing as opposed to range units. Because at least then on Aether Raid's defense, you could run this and not have to run, like, Gatekeeper. But, of course, it's only for range-type units, so another middle finger to Aether Raid's defense, I guess. And then attack and res ploy 3. So he's got good fodder. I'm not going to say anything bad about that. It's just that he is very, 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 very underwhelming. Okay, then we come over here to the actual banner. And I actually think this is a solid banner. There's some good color shares here. Red is definitely the best color, because we have Emblem Ike, we've got Emblem Marth, and then we have Kvassar, who surprisingly got a little bit of a buff with the Bride Embla. So I brought this up a little bit in the other video in the live stream, but you can run the Bride Embla and give her the Marth Ring. And now you don't have to run Devoted Basket on her anymore. You could just run like a hard AoE skill like Blazing Wind or Blazing Thunder. And then she's just going to pre-charge that, and she should be able to body Ike at that point. So, pretty nice for her. Nice little buff with Embla. So, red is really good. Of course, the 2 Emblem Heroes are really, really good to color share. Then on green, of course, we have Corrin, and he is with Arcane Lucina and also Legendary Female Alir. Pretty good color pool, honestly. Lucina's really, really good still. She has insane action economy with her Future Vision, and her weapon is really nice for Inheritance. Then, of course, Female Alir has good fodder with Pledge and also Null C4. As a unit, though, she's kind of fallen off. Then on colorless, we have the Mythic Asker, we have Mythic Gulveg, and then Hortensia. Hortensia is a really dominant unit in Summoner Duels and a really good unit, so I'm considering if I want to summon on the banner, because I don't have Lucina or Hortensia, and I would like to get them. But, I don't really want this guy, so I would have to make a decision on whether or not I'm going to summon. And then finally on blue, we've got Legendary Fa, Legendary Shez, and Legendary... Was it Legendary or was it Mythic Lumera? I think it's Mythic Lumera. So yeah, it's an okay banner. It's not like the worst banner to summon on. There's definitely some good stuff assorted on every color, honestly. Every color has something worthwhile to go for. But as far as... If you want to skip, like if you're on the fence, you don't want to like spend orbs, this is a safe skip. You don't really need to summon for anything here. It's not that crazy. And it's certainly the new Legendary Hero isn't that crazy either. So that's going to wrap us up for this one, guys. Hope you all enjoyed the second coverage on this. RIP, the stream's dying on live stream, but I don't know. What are you going to do? My internet sucks.